Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is April 13th, and right now we're looking at the visible/infrared satellite imagery. There's BC, Washington, Oregon. You can see that upper level low that tracked across Oregon yesterday, now over Idaho, bringing some snowfall for the higher terrain of Montana and Idaho as we speak. It's now pushing off to the east. We're going to get a weak system coming through tonight, but by the time we get towards this weekend, we might get a little bit of a stronger front here just in time for the weekend. We'll take a look at that in the extended forecast here coming up in a moment. This is looking at visible satellite imagery right now. This is the GOES 18 satellite imagery, and you can see there is these high clouds moving over the region here. A little bit of sunshine across some eastern portions of the states, Washington, Oregon, and some of the valley areas here of Idaho. This is the weather station here I've been talking about here, affordable home weather station option. Click on the links below down there, and now the code has changed to Pacific NW, Pacific Northwest. So you'll see that in the link below there if you want a nice, affordable, accurate home weather station. Now looking at Seattle yesterday, again, surprise, surprise, we were below average there, although we did have some nice sunshine out there yesterday. No precipitation recorded, 4 degrees below average, and we're probably going to remain below average here over the next few days. We'll take a look at that in the forecast coming up and the extended forecast. This is looking at the HRR, the High Resolution Rapid Refresh 12Z run that goes out 48 hours. You can see a uptick in the shower activity as we go through the day today into the afternoon. Nothing too extreme here, but there is a thunderstorm chance, mainly across portions of eastern Washington through the Idaho Panhandle, maybe up through eastern BC as well. And now we're moving on into Friday morning here. You can see some shower activity along the coastline, and then that stronger frontal system starts to make its way in Friday night into Saturday morning here, just in time for the weekend, of course. This is that day one categorical outlook here for thunderstorms across Washington, Idaho, and Montana. You can see some of this activity, severe weather starting. It's almost that season here across the plains, and you can see some action across the southeast portions of the USA as well. This is looking at Portland International. We're getting up towards 60 degrees being the average high for this time of year, and you can see we are not going to reach those temperatures here for the next few days. So still basking in this below average temperature here on in through mid-April now. This is looking at Seattle, Tacoma, so you got to look way out here towards maybe the 19th and the 20th here before we start to potentially have some slightly above average temperatures. But you can see great variation, low confidence here. There's no sign of any great warm-up coming just yet. This can still change rapidly here. We'll watch this as we go day by day, of course, as always. This is looking at Spokane, maybe on Saturday, Sunday, warming up a little bit here, relatively speaking anyway, but still nothing too extreme. This is looking out towards Boise. Look at Sunday, might be a nice day out there, getting towards the upper 60s, towards 70 degrees possibly. Now we're looking at up at towards 18,000 feet, 500 millibars. There's Alaska, BC, Washington, Oregon, and you can see the trough kind of moving through the area. Good agreement between the GFS on the right and the European here on the left. And then you can see that ridge try to build here again, mainly through eastern Oregon, Washington, Idaho here. As this trough is digging out of the Gulf of Alaska. This would be about Saturday afternoon shown here. And then you'll see this trough making headway into the Pacific Northwest by the time we go into Sunday night. Monday, just kind of hanging around, and it gets reinforced here towards the end of the run, which would be about Tuesday night here. Good model agreement on the GFS and the European for this troughing to remain over the Gulf of Alaska and the Pacific Northwest. So not expecting a warm up anytime soon. This is looking at yesterday afternoon's European 6-hour precipitation and sea level pressure here. There goes this weak system as we go through the day today. And then that next system, almost an atmospheric river feature to it here as we go on in through Saturday night into Sunday here. And then we continue with this troughing off the coastline, a low pressure system moving up towards Vancouver Island on yesterday's European run there. And then it shows this stronger low out over the Pacific here as we go on in through the following week. We'll be watching that one. That would be another strong frontal system with some cold, showery air behind that, potential for thunderstorms. And as we scroll on to the future more and more here, you can kind of see these systems one after another continuing to impact the Pacific Northwest. Of course, we're looking way out into fantasy land, but for the most part, you can see that models are saying we're going to remain active through the month of April. This is looking at that 6 to 10 day temperature outlook through April 22nd. You'll see the bullseye here on the west coast. This is 8 to 14 day here. Again, much of the west coast included. Now this is looking at La Nina or ENSO Southern Oscillation, El Nino Southern Oscillation, I should say. And this is us coming out of La Nina here. You can see the purple line. We are officially at 0.0 right now, but the last recording was negative 0.4, officially out of La Nina conditions. This is the newest forecast here. So this was issued just today, and you can see that we are now looking at probabilities in excess of 80% up towards 90% of moving in towards El Nino by the time we go into fall and winter months coming up here. You can see the neutral chances drop off rapidly as we go on in through fall, and La Nina is really just, like what, 1 or 2% there, but you notice it's not zero. You never know for sure with how the ocean's going to respond, but at least in recorded history, there's never been 4 straight La Nina, so the odds are extremely low at this point. And some of the models are pointing towards a robust El Nino right now. We don't know for sure, but it does look like we're potentially headed towards a moderate or greater El Nino coming up. This is looking at sea surface temperatures here. So I scrolled this through 90 days. Here we go on in through March, and you can see the warm-up occurring here across some of the equatorial Pacific up against South America. Look at that. So this January 13th where we start, and you can see the nice cool water across the equatorial Pacific marking the La Nina conditions here. By the time we roll into February, you can see the warm-up occurring here. Now we're into March, and you can really see the differences showing up here and going into April. Clearly a sign that El Nino is on its way. So yeah, we'll watch these systems as we go. I mean, if you saw the extended forecast there, you can see that we've got one after another coming through the month of April here. And again, that doesn't mean just pure doom and gloom, because even between systems, you can get nice days out of this. Like yesterday was some nice sunshine here across a lot of the area, and we can do that. Sometimes in between these systems you get a nice day or two as well, and still the forecast can change. Maybe these troughs will set up a little bit further off to the west here and allow for some ridging and some nicer days here, but it doesn't hurt to push back, and keep this precipitation going, push back that fire season on into well off into the summer months there, and keep it away from us here across our mountainous regions. We had some pretty good fire activity last summer, and that's going to be something that we'll be dealing with here, it seems like, on a yearly basis. So anyway, yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying these forecasts. Click like and subscribe. Again, if you want that weather station, click on the link down below to save 10%. And we'll do this again tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys then.